guys, and welcome back to this week's budget review. Again, for those of you who are new, I used a Hemlock and Oak weekly planner for my budgeting. For the past 2 years, it's been the daily planner, but for 2025, we went with the sleeker style of the weekly, just to condense things down. The daily was perfect for starting out, but I definitely needed the weekly version for this year. So we can see I have still yet to fill this in, guys. I really need like a lot of quiet time to sit and focus on this. We have not had that quiet time so far. One day, maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow Ray goes to work, I stay home, so maybe I can start working on that. I did get my first goal set up for the year, and again, this is a budget planner, so any goals, habits, anything going forward is going to be budget related. Again, I decided to start with keeping the store cards close to zero, or like if I know that I'm going to be able to set up like a payment plan or something like that. Other than that, it's just a friendly reminder to myself not to let these things get racked up. It's really easy. It's really, I'm trying to find an example on this page here. Okay, so like I use Target for the household stuff. So like I could be using the card for like, because you get 5% off if you used a card. So, like you'll be like, oh, this order's only $20, this one's only $20, this one's only $20. It doesn't seem like a lot until like the end of the month. And then you're like, oh my God, I got like $150 on there. Like, what are you doing? So what I do like to do with these is, let's say that I used a Target card and I spend 20 on it. At the end of that week, I need to pay the 20 on that card instead of waiting until the end of the month. So it's just a friendly reminder to myself, like, unless I actually have the funds in the account, don't do it. I mean, unless you're getting like a really, really, really good deal. But the other thing is that you want to check on the interest too, because a lot of these cards have 30% interest, which is ridiculous. We don't want to be carrying balances on these. So again, that's where you look for your 0% offers. Okay. That's all the more I'm gonna say on that. In one thing, I did create like a little checklist of what I need to pay off, and we can see that the scrubber and all of his accessories and the cleaning supplies, those are all gone. So Kohl's is taken care of. Again, no habits, just because there is a monthly habit creation. And like I just wanted to start January just by focusing on the one habit that I started. So that was the only charge what you can cover. So that we're working on that. I think I have to go back and see if I covered that. That's why that one's not filled in. So I just decided, like, for the month of January, I'm just focusing on this, and then maybe in February we'll start adding some of these. So no habits were created from last week till now. That gets us back into the daily framework. Again, this is it's a nice little example of saying, like, okay, if you got to pick how your days went, what would your days look like? What's your energy levels during the day? What are the things that are important to you that you need to do? What are some obstacles? They call them barriers that you're gonna encounter, which I encounter a lot. Definitely this morning. Normally Ray doesn't wake up until this time. Well, sometimes this is the mediocre time. So he'll wake up right around here. So I try to get everything that I want to do at this time, lately he's been staying up at night until 8 a.m. So now he's right. Like, he's still awake and making noise, and like, we're talking kitchen noises and pans and oh god, he's just his manly noises. It just sounds like a bear in the house, okay? So, it's very difficult for me to stay focused because I do need that quiet time. Yeah, so we haven't been getting it, and then I gotta listen to him snore. Uh, and it's a very small house, guys. It's not a house made for two people. It is definitely made for one person. So it's like I have him beside me at all times. Also Bert wakes up with me. Bert's the cat, by the way. So Bert wakes up with me in the morning, but then he takes a nap at this time too. So that's why I also like to get my stuff done, because Bert is like a toddler and he's like literally on my side or needs a hug, and it's very difficult to write when you gotta give the cat the hug. And if I don't, then he goes and wakes him up, and then the cycle starts again. So, yeah. It's just a snippet of my life. I'm sure that there are things in your life that, are kind of similar to where you just need time to do things, and you can't, because, things are happening. So, that's what I really liked about this daily framework page. This is the first time that I filled out one of these in the Hemlock and Oak, and it did really give me a nice snippet of my day and why I do the things at the time of day that I do. I did use the important page as like a nice vision board. It's just a friendly reminder that like budgeting and finances, um, it's more than just the numbers. A lot of people just focus on the numbers. To me, budgeting is it's about a lot more than just the numbers. So it's about life. Like, what do you want to do with life? What do you want your money to do? What do you want to be able to do with your money? What do you want more of? So yeah, that's why I put the little vision board in there, and it is always nice to flip through and see this as you're, you know, going in and entering monies. It's just that nice thing of like, um, we have vacations and stuff, like, so maybe I'm really thinking about buying that really cool thing that I saw on Instagram, and it's like, nope, because that thing's not as cool as a trip to who knows where. So I don't know. That's how I'm using those pages. So far it's working. Okay, so they have the 2 years at a glance page. I'm so sorry that was long, guys. So yeah, we got the 2 years at a glance. And again, I use this as my projected payoff, as in my payoff progress, I guess. Maybe that's what we'll call it. Um, Again, doesn't look like too much now because we're still in January, but basically, what I normally do is I use the Debt Payoff Planner app, which I believe I have a link in the description. You plug in all of your cards, the interest rates, monthly payments, all that stuff, and it generates a payoff plan for you and gives you a projected debt-free date. All of it is free, by the way, and I love it. That that is actually what got me on my debt payoff journey. So kind of let me know that, all wasn't lost. There was still some hope. So, yeah, guys, and like I stated in a previous video, I was working with like 20 plus credit cards maxed. So, still not in the best here, but we are way better off than where we've been. So, what I did differently this year, I did not use that payoff planner app or whatever they want to call it. It has the weirdest name. I just went ahead and said, okay, if I'm gonna pay the bare minimum on these things, okay, like if I'm the laziest debt payoff planner for 2025, for this year. How long is it going to take? So, of course, I did it the difficult way. Again, Debt Payoff Planner app does this for you. What I did is I went ahead and just did the $50 a week, because that's normally what I pay towards my debts. And I was like, okay, if I do $50 every Sunday, how long is it going to take to pay these accounts off? And that's how I got these numbers. Typically, I do the snowball method, so the $50 from the Perks card is going to go towards the PSCCU once Perks is paid off. But for these numbers, I did not do any of the rollover. So there's no snowball effect. These are the barest minimum if I do the $50 extra every week. One, just because, like, things happen. Cars break down, appliances break down, emergencies happen. Granted, we're supposed to have emergency savings, which I finally do, but, like, things just happen, and not everybody has those in place. And again, I apologize if you can hear my chair in the background, guys. I hop around a lot when I'm filming. I cannot sit still. But no, a lot of you, I know, definitely if you are just starting off on your budgeting and debt payoff journeys, that you don't have those funds. So that's why I wanted to show you, like, if you just do the bare minimum, that is how long it's going to take to pay these off. But it's also, for me at least, it motivates me to pay a little bit more each week, because I want to beat the deadline. For some reason, that motivates me. So it's like, oh yeah, you can't be paid off until April. Well, I'm going to pay you off in January or February. That's just me. That's a tactic that works for me. So that's what I've been doing. As we can see, we've been focusing on the Perks account for the last 2 weeks. It typically should not be paid off until April, but I'm gonna say I'm feeling really good about it, guys. I am feeling really good about it. We'll be getting more into that as we go on here. So the next page is the year at a glance. I call this my dashboard. It has all of the birthdays, holidays, large amounts of monies in and out. So that's when I gotta pay taxes and when I get the insurance funds. I have the paydays, those are in green. What else do I got on here? The pesky car, vehicle expenses. So that'd be like your inspections, your plates, driver's license ID was the first year that I used Hemlock and Oak. That actually came in handy, because those are things that you normally don't think about. I don't have anything else other than that. I'm sure that there are other examples, but, it's mainly the vehicle expenses for me that I really need to keep a reminder on. Maybe yours is the car insurance. Maybe you only pay car insurance every 6 months. So the car insurance would be listed. You could either consider that like a, large amount of money out, or you can just consider it a vehicle expense, But I color code them, and then that way, when they do actually appear, I'll mark them on the little mini calendar. The other thing that I do is I try to keep track of my credit score on here, just to kind of see like how what I'm doing each week, each month affects the credit score, which I still I haven't figured this out, guys. There are times where I was like literally busting my ass trying to, get the debt down, making extra payments, and like the score wasn't changing at all. And then there were months of where I just said, screw it. I've had enough. Instead of yo-yo dieting, I yo-yo budget. And so somehow the score increased. So I don't know, every time that I think that I'm doing really bad with my budgeting and paying stuff off, like my score gets better. So I don't know. The end of 2024 was not the greatest for me, but apparently it was, because the stupid score increased here. Let me go back and see. if I could find last year's. Okay, so yeah, no, we started. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we are right around the same mark as we were in 2024. We can see that I just pretty much gave up um, halfway through. The highest I was in June. That was 720 or 719. So um, let's see here. I don't know. I'm just curious now. Okay, so yeah, I had a 678 in 2023, so it's not really that big of a difference. It just I don't know. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how this thing fluctuates. So that's another thing that I keep on my yearly page here. Okay, so moving on to the quarterly pages. Again, these were they were something that I don't know. I didn't really know what to do with. I didn't have these in the daily planner, and I decided I was like, okay, so I always have that focus account, and I'm wondering maybe this is where I can keep track of like how much I am paying towards the debts. So, which granted, I do have. Where is he at? This is my list of the debts that I have now. Again, nothing compared to what we had in 2023 in that. I did make my own detritus instead of printing off detritus this year, just because I wanted a normal number for each block. So I had to make my own. So nothing fancy, just simple, basic. Um, it's not perfect. Again, this is 15,300. This is 15,354. So I really don't see me paying that. But if I do, if by some grace and miracle, I somehow can get that extra 50 some dollars on here, I will draw the blocks. I can draw 5.5 blocks. I I really don't see it happening. Okay. We can see nothing's changed on it either, just because of how the bills fell this week. So no extra blocks colored in this week. But that's how I'm doing this. So of course the focus account was my perks. It had a starting balance of 733. On the 5th, I gave an extra payment of $230. So again, I was really only estimated $50 for that week, so I gave $230, and that brings the balance down to 503. So I think I'm just going to keep tracking it that way, and I may add those other accounts down here and just track their balances along the bottom. Again, just to I'm kind of curious to see how the interest affects how much I'm paying. Because I do know there's one card I pay 150. What is this? Mercury. I pay 150 every month. That's the minimum. But 100 of that 150 goes to interest. So, yeah. So it feels like you're paying a lot because you are paying a lot, but it's not actually going on the principal balance. So we can see you have those extra quarterlies. This is the seasonal page. Again, nothing's. I even had to go back just to make sure. I'm considering though like sweaters and that, like, because it's January. I had to purchase new sweaters. Like, should I count that as seasonal spending? Because I wouldn't be buying sweaters in July. So that's the debate this week. So I'm gonna give that a little bit more thought, but again, I'm just separating this into quadrants, and for quarter 1 through 3, like, what did I spend seasonally that I normally it's outside of my regular budgeting, regular spending, stuff like that. So the sweaters might be going in, because we only January, February, March. I'm not really spending anything, guys. Oh god, I feel the sneeze coming on. So yeah, that's my big debate right now. Do I count seasonal clothing? Because it is seasonal spending. Okay, so that's gonna get us to January. I think this is a good time for me to take a quick break, just because I do feel a sneeze coming on, guys. I don't know how much longer I can hold this thing in. But after the break, I will be back and we will start getting into January and the actual week that has just occurred. Alrighty, guys. Quick break was enjoyed. Definitely needed that. It does help with the voice too. Okay, so the Hemlock and Oak gives you this wonderful January overview. And again, this is in the weekly, not in the daily. So this was new for me this year. So it just, for your overview, it wants you to state like what boundaries are you going to set for yourself this month. And again, with this being a budget focused planner, um, that one kind of caught me off guard because I was like, what do you mean, what boundaries am I setting? my bank balance is the boundaries. But I tend to jump over that fence a lot. So, um, that's why I was like, okay, like trying to sit and think about it. And I was like, well, I definitely need to reduce my spending. Granted, it was December. Like I said, 2024, I just felt defeated. So I did go on like a little spending binge. Thankfully, it was nothing like what I used to do like 10 years ago. 10 years ago would have been in the thousands. Maybe like $100 is what I did for October, November, and December. So nothing like what I used to do in the past. Again, I am an emotional spender. So even just keeping these little budget journals, budget books throughout the years has really helped with that because I can actually notice patterns in my spending. And it also helps you know, like, it's not as bad as what you think it is. Sometimes it does look bad, but other times it's like it's actually not as bad as what you think it is. And again, if you have a budget history like I do, just even going back to previous books can make you feel a lot better about your situation right now. So, yeah, it was mainly my main goal for this month is to reduce the spending, stop the splurging, stop the extra spending. Um, Again, hence the goal sheet, which I really do. I like my cabinet that I got from Amazon. Granted, it was a lot more than 80 is all I have left to pay on it. um Household, I think this is like the steamer and that, like I got a steamer cleaner, and I mean, it's cool, it is, guys, but I really wish that I convinced myself that I had the money saved. I did not have the money saved, but I convinced myself that I did. And I was like, oh, you can make payments on it. But at the same time, like, I'm making payments towards the target. And, yeah, bank wise, I did have the money, but that money was going towards this, and it was going towards this, and it was going towards this. So that's the one thing that I want to try to rein in for this year. The storage from Michaels, I couldn't beat it. It was items that I needed for my craft and planning room that I've been wanting for 20 years. I've been wanting for 2 years, but it was at like, I think some of it was even 75% off. So the price I could not, to me, no, I was just getting it. I'll figure it out, which I'm going to. The jeans, I kind of had to. Again, you got to wear pants. Um, I went off my workout routine in Thanksgiving. When I say I gave up at the end of 2024, guys, I mean like I gave up. So, yeah, I had to buy the pants because you're a little too big for the pants that you were wearing. So, we're back onto the exercise thing. And of course, the mini dumpster, my favorite. Most people can get away with just a trash can because they have, trash service. I have access to a larger main dumpster. My problem is like I'm not paying for a trash service if I have access to that. So, um, it's where am I going to store the trash? And yeah, so yeah, genius me, decided that I can use a poolside storage bin and turned it into a little mini dumpster, which is fantastic, guys. It's working out great for me. I can fit like 4 body-size bags in this thing. And then, when it dumpster's at my dad's house, by the way. So yeah, instead of just chilling in my entryway, which again the house is small, so instead of having the trash sitting in the house in the way, trying to get around it to get to my coffee pot, it's now conveniently outside in this little storage thing. I call it the mini dumpster. But he sits out there when it's time to put it in the back of the car, when like Ray's going to Bill's or something. It's so much more convenient. And again, these are like $500-600 during the pool season. They're only $100 during the winter because no one's looking for a pool storage deck or a deck storage. Like no one's looking for it in January. So that's what that is. That's what the mini dumpster is. That's the mini dumpster. So I think I'm gonna pay him off with the stash. Again, that's something that I got to think about. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so they want you to do the 3 things for self-care. Again, this is in that ideal page. They wanted you to list off things that you do for self-care. And a funny thing about this is a lot of these things are free. They're free of charge, or they have a very low startup cost. Like, yeah, I gotta pay for my painting kits, but I'm not paying for them every day. It's not like a Starbucks coffee, which I do have the Ninja Creamy, so I can make those myself now, which has been phenomenal. Having a Frappuccino at home whenever you want is like the greatest. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, so I've been enjoying that. Hot cocos and reading before bed. Again, like, yeah, I pay for Kindle, but if you read as much as I do, the Kindle pretty much pays for itself at the end of the month. Hot cocoa, So yeah, what I found is that the self-care items really they don't cost a lot if they do even cost anything. One of my favorite self-care activities is really just sitting down and watching a good show with Bert. Again, Bert's the cat, so yeah, we get kitty snuggy time and it's free. um, okay, the intentions. Again, what I'm focusing on in January is to get the My Perks card situated. Again, this is supposed to be my spend account. I get gas points for it, which then makes it to where I don't have to, have money for gasoline for the month. Here comes the coughing fits, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so basically this is the spending card. If you do have credit cards, this is the card that either has the lowest amount of interest on it. You get really good rewards. It helps you with your budget, and I try to put as much as I can on this thing, but I also pay it off weekly. Again, we could see that my spending went a little crazy in November and December, so there are 2 or 3 items on there that I do need to pay off to get it back down to 0, because again, it is a spend account. It's very difficult to use the card if you can't. And I do have it set to have a very low spending balance, so I can't max it out. So I did that. You can go onto your credit accounts and adjust how much you are actually allowed to use them. It just keeps that credit ratio low. Okay, and then of course we went over that my goal for the month is only charge what you can cover. And let's see here. So Wednesday is where I'm having an issue. And yeah, that's the Maurice's. Okay, so that's the sweaters. So I did not pay that off at the end of the week. So that day does get the X. That's why I was waiting for that. I wanted to see what would happen on Sunday. So no, that card is carrying a balance. So I don't like to put the excess, guys, but you gotta be honest. Okay, so with this side page, I was like, again, these are two pages that I'm not used to having in my budget planner. So I was like, okay, what are some issues that I've had with using the daily one? And the one was the wants versus needs. So with this year, I was like, okay, well, let's start out with keeping a need and want buy list, just to see like how many items from this list make it to February. So of course I am gonna need the HP photo paper. So far I haven't run out, but I use it for like all my photos and stuff that you saw in that little vision board, and that I use it to print off my book trackers. At the very beginning of the month, I was freaking out because I was like, yeah, you need to buy more of this. I'm not even close to running out, so I need it, but I don't need to purchase it right now. So far that one's hanging on. Oh, washer and dryer. Okay, I was going to, I don't think you knew. Okay, so I ended up needing a dryer. The dryer broke down. I convinced myself that I wanted a washer and dryer combo, and then I talked myself out of it because the washer is perfectly fine. So yeah, I did actually get that. Of course, the collagen, that is a need, and I ran short, so we had to get that. Capsule closet is something that I'm interested in doing, just because I have a lot of excess, and I want to get rid of that excess. That's the whole part of that decluttering thing. So what I really need to do is go through my closet and actually see what I have and what works. So I've been trying to keep myself off the clothing sites, guys. Okay, so yeah, no, and then I have the large orders area. Again, that's the mini dumpster that I got on Walmart, the pull storage. Storage that is on the Michaels card, and the scrubber that's on Kohl's. That's all paid off. I did that this week. And the online orders, again, I list where I got it from, what were the items, when's it gonna be delivered, and when it was delivered. Still waiting, guys. We are still waiting. Yes, yeah. See, buying the jeans is what restarted this. Normally, I'm not someone who wants to buy clothes, but once I get on a clothing site, I had to buy the jeans. Again, I needed pants, but what it started was, ooh, wow, look at this. And so I did allow myself to get 4 sweaters and hoodies. Again, just they're a little bit more fitting, but I do have to list the other items on. I've went to Poshmark. I've started on Poshmark now, and I gotta get rid of the stuff, or I gotta donate it. Okay, so moving right along onto the monthly. Again, just checking the frame here. We are still in frame. That's good. Okay, so I list all of the bills, all of the expenses, basically. I did color code them this year. Savings, the IRA, and then just my daily personal savings at $5 a day. Those are in yellow. Bills are in gray. I separated the store cards from the credit cards. So the store cards are that smoky blue, credit cards are red, and all loans are in green. So far we can see we are just checking right along. It does feel really weird to me focusing on just like 1 week at a time, where in the daily I would like I would get paid on this day, so I would instantly go through. Credit cards all got paid first, so it was like, okay, all of them are paid. Then I would work on the bills, and now with this being a weekly setup, I'm trying to like just say, okay, every Sunday, is all this handled? Am I prepared for Sunday? Which I'm probably, later on this evening, I probably am going to go ahead and just start on week 3. But that's really it. I mean, this is as basic as it gets, but this is probably one of the most used pages in my budget planner. a lot of people, which, yeah, I do actually have one just laying around. Look at this. I tried using these standard, um, budget sheets that like everybody uses where you list your income and you list your bills. And I mean, guys, first off, look at how many freaking bills I have. It never, it never fits on here, okay? It doesn't. I don't know who only has this amount of bills, but maybe it's just me. Maybe I have a lot of bills. Um, I can never fit what I have on one of these. And what I don't like about these things is that you are focusing on the month of, even though on this page I am focusing on the month of. But when I budget, because I get paid bi-weekly, so my budget thinking really is, it's not how much am I making and spending per month, it's how much do I get paid on this day? Do I have enough funds from here to cover to here? Because this is the next day that I'm getting paid. So do I have enough to make it from here to here? What do I have left over? If I don't have enough, then I need to save money from this previous one up here. So this really, thinking this way versus this way, has really helped and improved my ability to have the funds that I need, to pay off everything. I don't really know how else to say it. The whole monthly budgeting, because I mean, yeah, like, I mean, just for, easeability here. Let's say I get $1,000 here and $1,000 there. That's telling me that I got 2,000 for the month. Which I actually have more because whatever day in December this was, I got $1,000 there too, and that $1,000 is going to help cover this. I get $1,000 on the 10th, but it's gonna do nothing for me from 1 through 9. So I think that's where I was having difficulty with the other budgeting system, those monthly sheets, where this one at least tells me like, hey, you get paid this day. Let's say I get $1,000. I get $1,000 on this day. I need to make $1,000, do everything that I needed to do from the 10th to the 23rd. That's including the bills. That's including the loan payments. That's including utilities, food, gas, dining out, fun, life. How do I make it work? So, that's really why I like this monthly layout here, because I mean, if any of you were wondering like why I don't have one of those basic monthly sheets, these things, that's why, because these have never worked for me. Every month that I filled them in, I failed. And if you continue to fail at something and it's just not working for you, you're not going to do it. You're just not going to keep up with it. This once I started with this system, it's worked. So I stick with this system right here. Okay. So this is last week, just again, just to show you what they're starting to look like now with the whole weekly layout. And again, I keep track of the me times. I try to make sure that I give myself 3 things during the day, because technically those are 3 things that I'm doing for myself that are free of charge. And if they're free of charge, 1, it's putting me in a better mood. Again, emotional spending. And 2, they're cheap. It benefits my budget. So that was week 1 right there. This is week 2, so this is the one that we got going on. So again, I start with my weekly focus. So we have pay them bills. My intention for this week was how much can I put on the Walmart card. That was for the mini dumpster. Again, that kind of changed on Sundays today, where I try to figure out, like, can I make that extra payment? We can see last week my extra payment was towards the perks account. I could have put this towards the perks account, But once I noticed that I had this chilling in one of my savings accounts, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get that whole scrubber thing taken care of. It's paid, out of the way. Now I don't have to think about it. So the intention was Walmart. I just switched the account. I could have paid the Walmart thing 3 times with this. So I just figured, you know what? I have it. I have the funds. It's just, it's getting paid and out of the way. So the intention can, switch, midway through the week. Of course, I relist all the bills that are due for that week and anything else that I, want to do. So that would be the reconciling YNAB. I do use YNAB for my bills. Actually, I promised Jens that I was going to share that in this week's video. Let me go get the phone. Okay. So, for any of you who have yet to see YNAB, I do highly, highly recommend it. This has helped me greatly. So basically what you do is anytime that you spend, you can instantly go on here and just say, ooh, yeah, we're going to enter something in. What's something fun that I could punch in here real quick here? So we can see, like, it even tells you, like, how much, I'm trying to think of how to word this now. Okay, so in my budgeting categories, like, you have your regular bills. Let's say that I had the auto insurance on here, it was $50. So I would punch in that I did $50, but I put it on my credit card instead of coming directly out of the checking account. So it's going to show that I have the $50 fully spent in auto insurance, but it's going to take that $50 and put it up here on your Visa payment. It's going to tell, like, right now I do have $107.78 ready to go on the credit card. It hasn't left my bank yet. I haven't made the payment on the site yet, but YNAB is telling me if I want to pay $107 on my credit card right now, I have it. It's in the account. Same with these other ones. So see, we can see this is why I'm really considering, like, the mini dumpster. It's on the Walmart card. I already have 64 of it set aside. I really need 36 more dollars. So I'm really thinking I can squeeze 36 more bucks. So mini dumpster still might be getting paid off. Granted, he's going to go on the next week because this one's already filled in. But yeah. Okay, so the water, me and Ray split the water. So my 37's already ready. I just have to transfer his funds over, and then that's going to be ready to go. The heating, same things apply. With the Amazon Prime, this is where this comes in handy. He's due on the next payday, so I don't have to worry about putting funds in there. I can put funds on this, so I have $50 ready to assign. So let's say I'm like, you know what? Yeah. So we can see that I just put the $15 in there. So now YNAB's telling me if I want to pay that today, I have the money in there. I'm just going to leave that because you can maybe something happens. Maybe I'm like, oh man, I messed up. I don't have the funds for that. I'm going to need the funds for gas. You can instantly take it out. I love it. It is perfect for somebody like me who can't make decisions. Like here, Planet Fitness. I haven't had Planet Fitness in a while, so I snooze that. So I no longer need to put monies aside for that. The carpet scrubber, we can see he's paid off. I can start hiding that next month. These are all of the lovely credit cards, guys. So even though it's not marked on here that it's paid, we can see here's the city. I already got the 50 set aside for it. Here's Mercury, 150's ready. PSECU's ready. Merrick's ready. So even though these aren't checked and I haven't paid them yet, I know I have the money. The funds are there, we're ready to go. Um, Investments, the emergency savings goals, they already have on there. The extra pay stowaway, that's the stash that I give myself $50 out of every check. Again, I could even do, I can pay the mini dumpster off with this. I got $107. So, I think he was like 112. So, like, again, I can easily just take like $3 from, like, maybe Birch Food isn't going to cost $50. Maybe I have $10 left. I could take $10 from this, move it to that, and then I can just pay the mini dumpster off on the Walmart account with 100% guarantee that those funds are there. Um, it's so nice, guys. There's Divided Authority. Again, I keep little legends of my smileys. But the large order, so we can see there's the collagen. It's on perks. That one's in red because I do not have the funds for that. So this is where, like, in my mind, I'm seeing like, oh, I got all these monies in savings. But my mind starts saying, oh, I could use it for Walmart for the dumpster. I can use it for the collagen. So I think this is like where a lot of my, like, putting things on cards saying that I do have the funds to cover it where I really don't. So again, this is where YNAB's helping me with that. Because if I'm just seeing this number, then it's like, oh yeah, I could do all this. But you can't because, the funds just aren't there. So I'm really thinking this might actually go towards this now. After scrolling through here, this is something I like to do in the morning time too. Like whenever I'm just waking up, instead of just like scrolling through Instagram, I literally just scroll through all of my bills and just move money around to see what happens with it. So yeah, again, from going back up here, I only need $40 from this to pay on that. So I'm going to say these funds right here are going to be covering the Vita Authority. So again, I would just, like what we did before, I would just hit on this, subtract 100, put the 100 on here. Now I only need to figure out $14, $15 from these other ones. Yeah, I put that on sleep. Don't need that. Probably not doing that this month, so I can put that asleep. Auto maintenance. Normally I like to set aside $25. I am going to leave that one open. Okay, so again, you have like the dining out fees, you have the clothing fees. I do not need candles. Okay, so I can put that asleep. There's the home decor, so that's, I'm listing the mini dumpster as that. So if I do, like, he's already entered in there. So if I do move the funds, it's got to go into this account because it's telling me that I overspent. It's on the card. Okay, so yeah, and of course that stuff I forgot to budget for. This is one of my other favorite things, which, I mean, I can start filling this back in. Again, guys, I'm sorry. My voice does not like this. Okay, so that extra 50 and 1, I'm just going to put back in here. So this is that taxes. Normally I would take the taxes out of my emergency funds. This year I've started, which I did have this full, I had to take the funds for something. It was in December and I can't think of what I had to take the funds for, and it like really made me angry. I cannot think of what it was, but I did have all of this. But it's, I mean, I only need 187 more this month, guys. I can do it. But basically, the money that I need to pay my taxes in March now, I'm going to actually have in cash in my bank account instead of needing to rely on my emergency savings. So that's kind of cool. All these other ones are like actually really easy to just fill in. Again, the auto registration, I didn't have to worry about that last December because it was there. I already had it. and it's just $4 a month. That's all I got to put towards it. So that's YNAB as quickly explained as possible. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I love it. It's really helped with this. Definitely if you're somebody who makes so many different choices, like in the morning I could be saying, yeah, I'm paying off Walmart with this, and at the end of the day you're like, I'm paying Walmart off with that. So yeah, YNAB really does help with that. Keeps track of everything. But back to the weekly view. Yeah, okay, so yeah, we went over the focus, we went over the intentions, we went over the to-dos, which are the bills and things that need done. Again, I'm keeping track of the me times, because it's nice things, definitely when you are on a debt payoff, that a lot of the times you have like that fear of missing out, or that, life isn't fulfilling because you're not getting that dream vacation or whatever it is. I got good things. There are good things that happen every day. Okay. This is 3 good things that I have every day that don't cost me anything. I also keep track of my normal daily mood. Up at the top here, again, just trying to check and see, like, how does the mood affect the spending. Last year is whenever I did start tracking this, and it is very eye-opening. So I think I got a good handle on it now. Monday was just fantastic. The week just started off great, guys. We had a snowstorm, which means I call off of work. It gave me the day to actually, one, have Ray around us one time when I do want him around. But like, he was off of work, I'm off of work. The dryer place is literally like a block away. So we waited for them to clear off the roads, and I was able to get like a $600 dryer for $350. I did use my emergency funds, the daily funds, that $5 a day that I do rack up during the year. At the end of the year, when I have collected it, that all goes into the emergency fund. So that's really what keeps me from using it, or I would. So, yeah, I mean, I need a dryer, guys. I need Bert likes fresh blankies. So I needed a dryer. And I was able to pay that with cash, and it was nice. Because if we all remember the hot water tank fiasco, I didn't have the funds. I spent the emergency funds on other things, and I had to start paying on the stupid hot water tank. Granted, I got 0%, but all of those payments that I made towards that were supposed to go towards all of my debts that I'm trying to focus on. So I got more debt, So it sucked. I didn't want to give up the $350, but at the same time, I was able to cover that thing in cash. So it's nice. It's a very nice feeling. And it's working perfectly fine. Okay, so we did, of course, all the bills. There's raised payment for the electric. Tough day at work. That was the day going back to work. That day just sucked. Upbeat. I was feeling pretty good by Wednesday. Probably why I bought the sweaters. I was feeling really good. And of course I broke my tooth. I broke my tooth that night during my sleep. I don't know how. So in the middle of the night, I wake up and it's like, damn it, man, you broke your freaking tooth. So Thursday started with all morning long of trying to call a dentist, find a dentist that will actually do this. A lot of them don't anymore, at least in my area. And so finally found one. Then it's like, because the first appointment wasn't until the end of March, then she called back and they had a cancellation, but then the time didn't work out. So then she calls back and she's like, well, I got one at the beginning of March. And I was like, okay, that's better than the end of March. And somehow, like, call number 5 or 6, we made it to February. It's like mid-February, so it's what I got. But fortunately, it did not affect my spending. Just Friday, exhausted. Okay, I'm beat. I'm beat by Friday. Of course, it's payday, so I started getting all that taken care of. Another thing I did switch over from this week to last week. Last week I was just highlighting the little dash mark, if I would have that on a card, like Maurice's is on a card, Wendy's of course goes on the card, all the bills go on the card. This week, of course, with the perks payment on here, see, last week we had the extra perks payment. This week it's just, okay, this is how much I need to cover my actual spending. It started looking like I was spending a lot, because I was like, oh my god, you got like all that, like you got 130, you got 50/50. And then it like dawned on me, like, dude, those are on the card. So I started the little hash marks. I did like a little straight through. Um, so I am gonna highlight them. Like, we can see Giant Eagle and Wendy's are highlighted, but they're not paid off on the cards yet. So they're not straight. They don't have a strike through yet. I am highlighting those just so that I know, like, we can see the dryer was directly from the bank account. It doesn't come off a credit card. So no highlights there. Again, with the savings to the Kohl's, that's just straight bank account. But anything that comes off of the cards, any card now, it's going to be highlighted. And then once it's paid, like we can see, I did the $2.95 on perks. This is just so that it's a little bit easier for me too, that I know if that's one of those extra payments that I was wanting to keep track of in this quarterly here. So the $2.95 that I put on perks this week, that is just for the actual spending. It's not an additional payment. No additional payment to perks this week because I decided to focus on Kohl's and just get that thing covered. But that's it, guys. That's how this week pretty much ended up. I'm not going nowhere, so I'm not spending anything, and that gets us to next week. And again, the focus is going to return back to perks. Can I, can I put 130 extra on the perks? I think I can. But then again, the week will tell. Because at the beginning of this week, I did not know that I was going to buy a dryer. I did not know that my tooth was going to break. And I had no idea that I was going to pay off Kohl's. So, yeah. Yeah, like, to me, you can plan ahead all you want, but life just has this wonderful way of saying, like, hey, check this out. So, this is what I'm planning for. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen, by next Sunday. So, I'm hoping it's good things. Oh, yeah, we got a balance transfer coming up too, guys. Can't wait for that. But that's it, and I really think this is a good place to close out. Again, guys, I thank you so much for watching. I thank you for all of the comments. I do greatly appreciate all of it. And again, if you liked watching this budget review, if you had a chuckle, if it at least helps you in any shape or form, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button to see more budget videos.